Shadows asleep amidst the trees. Bats all a-swaying in the breeze. But one so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths. For your dolly Polly sleep has flown, don't dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. House turned in as daylight dies. But when so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths, my dear darling.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Haunted Connections show. So we're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, and it's me and Neil tonight as usual. Tonight
Sorry,
we're going to be
you've got to put up with us again.
So tonight we've decided to, because this weekend there is a festival going on in Coventry. It's the Witches and Pagans Festival. Julie and I went to it last September, and it's on again this May and in September again. So we're quite excited about it. So what we thought we'd do is ask you all about your pagan experiences. Have you had any witchy encounters? Have you had any occult encounters that you didn't know or you were suspicious about? So as usual, put all your thoughts down, all your comments, all in the
Chat.
in the chat below, yeah, and we can
Difficult
we'll
word.
see what, yeah. Oh, my brain's going like this tonight because I've got a million. It's like loads of spinning plates all over the place. Yeah, so tell us what you think, even if you just got comments on paganism or just anything really. Just let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so we'll start with you, Jane. Have you ever had any experiences with the occult or witches?
Yes. Yeah, I mean we've it's one of those things that you've always been aware of it, and for me, I've always sort of had that. Even as a child, I've always sort of had that calling.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a child at primary school, we did actually do the maypole. And I used to absolutely love doing it. And then a few years later, it all just stopped. And
so what is the maypole?
the maypole is it's like a symbol of fertility. So around this time, generally the 1st of May, it's what's the festival we've just had? It's not May Day.
Beltane.
Beltane, that's the one. Yeah. So it's the Beltane Festival. And around 1st of May, it sort of symbolises fertility, regrowth, renewal, welcoming all that in.
It's just the earth waking up, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, basically. And I used to really enjoy doing it.
So that's a pagan festival?
Yes.
Has that been nicked by anybody else?
I don't think there's a Christian alternative, is there? There's not a religious alternative for that. But there's various celebrations, but I do feel people are being drawn back to it. I've sort of had this inner calling to do more and more and more. and I'm still not at a place where I want to be. There's always more to do.
Okay, let's put some. Lots of people saying hello. Bloss says, "Hi guys, great night Friday." And of course, we did our seance evening on Friday. Our first one for about 3 years.
Yeah,
It was interesting, wasn't it?
yeah.
We'll talk more about that in a bit, I think. Annette says Maypole is new birth.
Yeah.
Vicky says hi. Look, I'm early tonight.
Well done.
Well done, Vicky. Is that Shawnee? I apologise if I'm reading that wrong. From Ireland.
Hello.
Thanks for joining. I do apologise if I read that wrong. So yeah, so it's all about new birth. So have you ever encountered a witch in your paranormal exploits?
I think we have. There's been a lot of people who are quite openly now admit that they're witches or they do practices, and everybody has a different path. No two people will ever be on the same path, and you get such a different variation in witches. Everybody has a different calling and a different interest to continue that. But it's just I just think it's becoming more and more now open to people, because people are questioning the religions, and they're actually finding themselves going back more to nature, going back to a lot more of these just rural things that they can do.
Okay. Oh, lots of comments. Janice says, "Hi guys, I'm a witch."
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And it says, "I've done Wicca."
Yeah.
Vicky says, "I've worked with some lovely people that are witches."
Yeah.
Of course. So why is it you all as you're growing up? I know it's probably all the brainwashing that we encounter when we're young. Whenever anyone mentioned a witch, it's this old haggard woman with a long pointy nose, warts all over the face. I'm sure all these nice witches on tonight aren't like that.
I think it's just how they've been.
Why is that? Is that just Hollywood again?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just how they've been depicted over time. The worst images possible of what's been used, because witches were seemed to be bad, weren't they? And yet, the witches the ladies in the communities, years and years ago, were the midwives and the herbal healers, and they sort of did the medicines and everything for everybody to help.
I think Annette's hit it on the head. One word, church. Well, you know us, Annette. Yeah, you know us. Vicky says most people see witches like that one was on BGT.
That's not Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent. I've not seen that, I must admit. I don't watch TV, to be honest. No, I don't watch normal TV.
I might not be Britain's Got Talent, but if it's not, just
was there a witch on there? I don't know. Bloss says fairy tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Witchcraft and fairy tales very closely related, and they even probably go back to the same point in some cases.
Tina says, "I come from a bloodline of white witches. However, I haven't had the chance to give it a go yet, but really want to." I think it's really,
you'll get that
I think it's really interesting.
Feeling that you're almost compelled to do it.
I think Karen didn't finish her message, so we'll put the rest of her message on there. Witches were portrayed as bad by a scared king.
Yeah, James the First. He rewrote the Bible.
He's got a lot of things to answer to this. And it says male dominance of all women did. Yeah. But I guess there's hundreds of thousands of witches now openly.
Yeah, there is. Paganism is making a real comeback. It's not that long ago that is it the Norwegians? Oh, the somewhere in Norway, I think it was, they've actually built the first pagan church that's been built for hundreds of years because of the there's a rising of paganism when people want to celebrate.
So do you think there were some bad witches who did the sort of things that they're well known for?
Well, possibly, but it's difficult to say because I'm pretty much a believer that unless you can read other people's accounts and you can read records and things like that, but a lot of it's just hearsay, isn't it? It's it's difficult to say because you're just not there at the time to make your own judgment.
Because even some TV shows, we're not mentioning the name, some TV shows have been to Pendle Hill, haven't they?
Yeah.
And the witches there were, in that show, portrayed as evil and they were affecting people.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes if people are doing TV shows and live feeds and that sort of thing, sometimes they want it to be as bad as possible to get the viewings up.
And I've seen a lot of people, YouTubers, have been to Pendle and said, yeah, it is evil up there. I don't think it is. Of course, we are going to Pendle Hill.
We are. And I'm so excited about it. August bank holiday.
August bank holiday. I'm whisking the whole team up to Pendle Hill. Well, they've got to pay they're paying for themselves, but we're taking the whole team to go. Julie's looking forward to it, and so is Aunt and Amy, and we are, and Jane and I are. And we want to see the truth. We want to find out our truth about the Pendle Hill witches.
You see, I
don't think for 1 minute they're going to be bad.
No, I don't think. I've read quite a few books on Pendle Hill, and one of them was sort of like an account of one of the witches. It's sort of like it was almost written like a personal story, but using all the facts of all the trial and everything else. And I just don't think that they were evil.
No, I don't. Some more comments. Annette says, women's work now, Big Pharma is how it all started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the big pharmaceutical companies. They're just out to make money. They're not interested in cures.
No, they're not.
Okay, Tina says, I think like most things, people judge and react wrongly to things they are scared of and don't understand. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Bloss says, told you before, Benji's ex-wife is a pagan. Janet says, a real witch won't do bad as it comes back threefold.
Yeah.
And Annette says, I'm not the best looking woman in the world, but I don't have a wart on my nose. Janet says, yeah, my neck of the woods 5 minutes away. Oh, that's good. You have to pop over and say hello to us when we're up there. Vicky says, Pendle is amazing. Done it so many times. Had some fantastic results. Dowsing on the hill and table ticking with Demdike. So have you come across anyone being evil at Pendle and Vicky? Let us know. Because I'm really looking forward to it. Because one of the things the witches at Pendle supposedly did, was summon the devil at the quarry, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what. You said that.
Yeah, that's what I read. They're supposed to summon the devil, and on the Sunday night we are going to do the same in the quarry.
Oh, that should be fun.
Because it's supposed to be the demon falls that night anyway, so we might as well just.
Yeah, we'll just summon
the devil.
See what happens.
So, now we mentioned the devil. Do you think the devil is one person, or is that just a label? I know coming from
your again, you see, it is, isn't it? Because I mean, a lot of people sort of refer to the devil. Now, the devil could be Satan, it could be Lucifer. There's lots of different sort of variations, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the devil is just a terminology, the same as when people, sort of say, well, I've seen a ghost or whatever. It's just terminology that most people use to just describe what they're experiencing, or their experience, or what they have experienced. So, yeah, or what they're referring to.
I don't know. We'll find out in August.
Yeah.
Vicky says, never had anything evil at all. Truth be told, the parked cars with interior lights are more scary. Yeah, so I'm a bit confused by the TV shows that have been to Pendle and the YouTube. I've seen quite a few YouTubers go up there, and it's evil. It's always demonic and
Yeah,
all
but
this.
you see, the devil is supposed to have horns, isn't he, and all that sort of thing. But that can, you can understand how that came about. Even last night, I was watching the program with Richard Attenborough about the mammoths, and quite a few other people would have seen that. And they were talking how they found this hand axe made out of flint,
Mm-hmm.
and that they would have used it because there was a lot of deer around at the time, as well, and they would have used it to cut up the deer and everything else. And primitive man would have probably given, because the deer and everything was such a source of food, and they provided, they used their fur, skin for warmth and that sort of thing, that they would more likely give thanks to this animal. And so then this is where they used to use the antlers as time goes on. They used antlers to represent these animals in their worship and that sort of thing. And then in areas where there weren't deer, they used to use the sheep horns and ram's horns, and all that sort of thing. And they used to give thanks to the land and thanks for whatever it was that for providing their food and everything else. And then so this horned god, it has evolved, and it's only when the Christianity took over, they then demonized the horned god, who they then said was the devil, Satan, whatever, and he had, he had the horns. So it's just stories handed down, I think, over the centuries.
Okay. Shawnee says, I missed the start. I must Google Pendle to catch up. Sounds spooky. Pendle Hill is where the famous witch trials of Britain, England were in 16 something. I can't remember.
Is it 1612?
Something like that. And these 7 witches, was it 6 or 7 witches?
Yeah,
were
I
hanged.
think it was mainly 2 families, wasn't
Yeah.
it? The Devises and
them Dykes. I don't know. I can't remember the name. And it was famous witch trials, and they were hanged at York and that sort of thing. So I must admit, being on the hill is very atmospheric. I've been up to Pendle Hill once. I didn't investigate there, but I've been on the hill. It is very atmospheric. There is a strange feeling there. However, you go knowing the stories, so your mind's got that in there anyway. So, but we are going in August bank holiday, and we will do lots of live feeds from there. And we're going to do lots of experiments. We are going to use a brand new communication device.
Yeah.
That Janie's making now.
Yeah, it's the it's in progress.
And the reason we're going is I had some dreams about the witches coming to me and said we've got to go, and they said the best way to talk to them is through this device.
So Neil described this device, and I'm making it.
And you've adapted it to fit, aren't you? Because
yeah,
I don't know the terminology and things.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So if you want to see the first ever one of these devices, watch some of our live feeds at Pendle Hill. I think we're going to use this device in the hotel we're staying. I'm not going to tell them, just in case. So yeah, we're all really looking forward to that. Bloss says, saw that, Jane. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Annette says, I think the devil was the witch finder general.
Yeah, he wasn't a nice man. He paid very, very well.
Yeah. Vicky says, had loads of dark shadows around us whilst conducting experiments, but nothing ever tried to hurt us. Amazing experience to do though. Yeah, we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to the woods as well. And it says, sounds very interesting. Ames says evening pops, evening Jane. Hi Ames.
Evening.
Bloss says think your brain will explode with all these thoughts. Yeah, one day you're going to come in and there's just going to be a splatter all over the place.
Yeah, we'll still have him put back together and stuffed and stood in the corner.
Denise says, what about the witch trials in Leicester? I've never heard of them, I must admit.
I think there was quite a few sort of witch trials up and down the country, weren't they? It's just that the Pendle one seemed to have got the most sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Exposure.
Exposure.
Such,
Is
yeah.
that because of the TV show, you reckon?
Well, no, I think over the years, I think they've just sort of generally sort of kept it alive, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I think there's
it's big business for up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the witch finder generally travelled all over the country, didn't he? Exposing witches, and he was paid money per witch for for his services, and he was a very rich man, and if you were called out for being a witch, you had no chance, because you had either your innocence would have meant he lost money, so the chance of you being innocent was
Well, do they really use ducking stalls?
Yeah, I think they
So they duck you under the water. If you lived, you were a witch, so you got hanged.
Yeah.
If you drowned, you weren't a witch, but
you
you're
were
dead.
innocent. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, so some of the things they did to them were awful. Sticking needles and sticking things in them.
Yeah.
Torture, thumb screws, and all that sort of thing.
Bloss says she can't wait. I think that's to do with my head exploding. Then she says Witchfinder was sick.
Yeah, he was.
He's not a nice person.
But I do think what's it?
Don't know.
Oh God, my brain.
You got chemo brain again.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
He played the Witchfinder General in the TV film, didn't he? So he did actually he did actually play that character really well.
Sorry, Amy's just sent me a photo. I'm going to have a look at it. Yeah. Do you think the I said this to Julie a few weeks ago. I think they should start making films about the truth. They always portray witches as evil.
Mm.
They always portray demons as evil.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd get away with it though?
I think people would find it very boring. That's why they tend to go against the truth, isn't it? Because people want to be scared and have their jump scares and all that sort of thing. Well, I don't watch horror films, so
no, mate. Must admit, we've been watching a film on Netflix called. It's all about the Robert doll.
All right.
First one was quite funny, but the second one was boring as hell. But I had a dream last night. We had this haunted doll, and it attacked me.
Oh. Was it like Chucky?
It was just a haunted doll, and it was, and obviously Bloss will be saying that'll be Anna attacking me one day. So I personally think witches were just healers and wise women who tried to help people, and the church didn't like that.
Yeah, you only had to say some sort of bad things. If you were caught sort of talking under your breath, that could be enough to be condemned for witchcraft.
Bloss says, was it Anna? It wouldn't surprise me, Bloss. So I just think witches were trying to help people through herbs and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course
You're
the
always
church
going to get your older wise women on because that's what they did.
And of course the church doesn't like people helping people.
No, and the church is very patriarchal anyway. They've only just recently let women be vicars, haven't they? So in the last few years, how long has the church been going? 2,000 years?
See pigs attacked by Chucky. That's from Biff. Vicky says Hannah has already kicked you, Neil, so only a matter of time before she goes to the next level. Laugh
Yeah.
out loud. Thanks, Vicky. As long as there's cameras rolling, I can live with it, says Neil bravely. Bloss says they were the doctors of the day. Yeah. I believe they were. But of course, the church doesn't like that sort of thing, do they?
No. But you see, one of the other myths as well about witches in England. See, people thought that witches were burnt, but they weren't burnt in England. It's they were all hanged, and I think there was only one case of a witch, one of the witches in York, I think, that was burned.
Yeah.
And in Europe they did burn them; they burnt them alive. But in England they actually hung them.
So did they burn them in America as well? I don't have to know.
I think they did, because it's usually it's the UK that sort of stand out, because we were the ones that just hung the witches.
So we were more humane to them.
We just killed them a different way. Yeah.
Which is quite interesting, because we have had mediums at the centre who's picked up on a witch and says she was burned.
Yeah. No.
And they I know Jane's told me before, they weren't burnt in England.
Yeah. But in Europe they used to just gather them up in crowds and just burn the whole lot, and they burn all their animals and pets and everything with them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick. So that's a little chat about witches. Let's talk about pagans, because I admit I don't know that much.
Well, paganism, sort of the definition of paganism is the fact that you worship more than one god. So like with our paganism, we have the horned god or the green man, we have the goddess Mother Earth. So we celebrated lots of different sort of deities as such, and things like the Norse gods. They've got Odin, Thor, all those gods. There's lots of gods that they worship, and you can even class the Egyptians as sort of being pagans, really, because they worship more than one god. So it was when the Romans sort of first came in, that they started the Christianity thing.
It's all changed. Shame. Janet says Pendlebury's witches were hung in Lancaster on Gallows Hill after a trial in Lancaster Castle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going Pendlebury. I think it's going to be a good week and good and interesting. I'm looking forward to trying our new piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Biff says the Scots burn witches, but it's colder up north. burn the witch. Yeah. So do you think we're going to get good responses on this piece of equipment?
It's difficult to say, isn't it?
I am teasing all the viewers, obviously.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, because I think if you've got the right intention and you've got the right attitude towards it, I think most kit equipment, works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It'll give you a response.
So, got any more comments? Please put them down.
But I'll just say a little bit about the festival while we're waiting for some more comments.
Yep.
So the festival starts on Saturday morning. Stall holders like myself, we can go from Thursday lunchtime. So I shall be off Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, Julie's going Friday.
Julie's going Friday, isn't she? John's coming Friday. And the stalls will be open Saturday and Sunday. And alongside all that, there's lots of workshops, there's lots of rituals going on, there's lots of different things. There's at night time as well, there's rituals in the woods, there's a lot of activities.
That's where the clothes are optional.
Yeah, I won't be jumping over the fires naked, honest.
Did say that last year, didn't it?
Yeah, so there's lots of things going on in the woods, rituals and stuff. And there's a little train that takes people around. If you can't walk very far, that'll actually take you into the woods.
Is there?
But there's a lake there. There's a Viking village. One of the fields is actually set up as a Viking village, and there's other camping as well. And there's lots and lots of stalls, all different sorts of stuff. I'm sure you can still get tickets. I think they've sold nearly 2,000 tickets.
I'm going to say, I know Julie said they've sold over 1,000 tickets.
Yeah, well, last thing I heard, they'd sold 1,800 tickets, I think.
Really?
So, yeah, it's got to be around the 2,000.
So, if you're anywhere near Meriden or Coventry this weekend,
yeah, Heart of England Conference Centre.
Get your ticket booked. You can go dancing around the fire naked.
Come and say hello.
Yeah, please go and say hello to Julie and Jane.
So last year was the first time that they did it. So this May and September, it's going to run twice a year. So yeah, I shall be there to all of them because there's Vikings as well. There's Viking reenact. There's a main arena, and there's Viking reenactments. There's fire eaters.
And the stalls around the arena this time, aren't they?
I'm hoping so, because that was one of the suggestions that I made when they asked us if there was any feedback, and I just said, yeah, it would be great if all the stalls were actually around the arena, so we can actually see the arena as well, and people then can just sort of, because they were sort of, the stalls were sort of in little pockets around the field,
right?
So and you know, we were lucky enough to be sort of facing sort of inwards, but we still couldn't see the arena, and we could see some of the tents where the workshops and stuff were going on, but it would be great if all the stall holders were all facing inwards around the arena, so you can see everything.
You just want to see the Vikings.
I do. I'm going to the Viking banquet on Friday night. Wee.
Ross says, I never want to walk up that hill in Lancaster again. I'll bet you it was a struggle, Bloss. And then she says, the festival sounds great. Janet says, sounds fab. Missed this. Where is it, please?
It's at the Heart of England Conference Centre, near Coventry.
I think it's in Meriden.
Meriden.
Which is just outside, in between Coventry and Nuneaton.
Yeah, I think if you Google
so
Heart of England,
not far from us really.
Conference Centre. It's only about 40 minutes away, isn't it? From here?
It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, is it?
Yeah, that's when it's sort of open to the public, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. But everybody, there's a website. It's the Coven of Gaia. That's GAIA. And they're running it, and they do have a website, so there's loads of tickets on there.
Yeah.
For workshops and all sorts.
If anyone does go, please pop down to Jane's store and Julie's store. Julie, I know Julie's got loads of fantastic stuff. Our lounge is full at the minute, so I know they're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So it's twice a year, May and September.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I can just see it growing into a bigger event year after year, because it's just, the atmosphere there was absolutely amazing, because everybody's got the same positive vibe. Everybody's sort of got that spiritual vibe, and you're walking around and you see people dressed as fairies and witches and wizards, and there was a bloke last year that was actually dressed with this. He had this big top hat on, and Julie was sort of seeing him across the field, and she was going, "Oh, look at that man! He looks great." And he actually came over as he was walking around. He came in the stall, and Julie just said, "Oh, I love your outfit! Love your outfit!" And he looked amazing. So yeah, there's lots of wonderful things to see.
And it's nice because everyone's on the same wavelength. I imagine.
It is. You can dress up and be as mad as you like, and everybody's happy with it.
Which fits.
Yeah.
Bloss says better media would like that, as she lives in Coventry.
Yeah.
You have to tell Bloss. Biff says on A45 southwest of Coventry, I believe. Yeah, I know that well. I used to work down there. So yeah, it's a fantastic weekend by all accounts. I've not been, but But
You
I
are
know
coming with Julie, aren't you?
I'm taking Julie there. Yes, I shall
Yeah.
have a look anyway Friday night.
So I'll have to have the kettle on for when you turn up.
Definitely get the kettle on for and I'll drop Julie off, and I'm going to set a gazebo up and help her get all stuff out, because you have security guards that are walking around the side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Last year, I don't think the security was as I don't think the security was as hot as it could have been, because we were so we were there a weekend, but there was an incident one night where a load of drunken youths got in. They sort of gate crashed the event.
All
And they
right.
got in, they were drunk, they pinched the little train that takes people up to the woods. They ran amok with the train for a bit, then they came back down. I think more or less crashed it into the lake. They then went into the lake swimming for a bit, then they came out, and then I think they got then escorted off the premises.
Oh, right.
I think me and Julie were totally oblivious to all this. We didn't hear anything because we didn't get on any of the rituals or anything last year. So it all sort of happened before we, during the night when we were fast asleep. So
Yeah. So these pair were probably snoring their heads off while all this excitement was going off.
yeah,
Biff says, think it's more of a connection with nature, but then doesn't fit with the church's agenda.
no,
The more we do, the more we learn, the more you realise what the church has done. I apologise if you're religious, what you believe.
yeah.
There's got a lot to answer.
All the stuff that they've hidden, now they've treated people, forcing people to try and take your point of view or believe in what you believe is just so wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. Janet says, will you be marketing your new piece of equipment if it works?
Yes, there may be some of them available. We're going to do the prototype and then we're going to use it at Pendle, which isn't until August. So if we feel it works, and if we feel it's a good piece of equipment, they will be in production, and I will be taking some of them, I think, to the next festival, but we will also be selling them here in the shop.
There you go. You heard it first, didn't you? Well, I've not even seen it yet. I just had the idea. Hey, Jane, do something with this idea.
When Neil described what he was, Neil didn't really know what he was describing.
No.
But as soon as he described it, I knew what he meant. So that's why I'm making it.
That's scary.
But I find that quite fascinating, because you got the information from a dream, and you wouldn't necessarily have known what you were talking about unless somebody had put that idea into your head.
No, I had no idea.
So I find that quite fascinating, because you have actually got that information from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then because you were trying to explain it and how you explained it, I did know what you meant.
But it will be focused on contacting a certain group of people as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Janet said, well said. That might be what Biff said. Bloss says he will want the money, Jane.
We'll sort that bit out when near the time. We've got to make one first and see what it's like.
It ain't worked yet. Janet says, fab.
We'll make one first, see if it works, see how it works, and then we can always discuss the money bits after.
Yeah. Janet says churches. Yeah. It's yeah. My when I was 17, 18, when I started going drinking, so I was 18. When I started going to the pub, my granddad said to me, don't matter what you talk about, but don't talk about religion and politics.
Yeah. People have so many different views, don't they? But, I grew up being quite religious. Even though I'd all this sort of spiritual stuff going on, I felt I needed to sort of build on that. And I went to the church, and my grandfather was a minister in the church, and he was there 52 years. And I always used to go to Sunday school. I always used to I was confirmed. I did all that, but it never felt right for me. I felt I felt sort of I was on the path, but I wasn't on the right path. It didn't feel right to me. And it's only when later on that when I went into a spiritualist church, my mum took me to a spiritualist church when I was about 16, and that felt right. And that was I knew I was on the right path then.
Yeah. I have never been religious. I don't go to church. I've never been. I only go to church for weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
I did go into a cathedral last week for Ben's graduation, and that scared me. I thought I was going to have bolts of lightning down on me, but I survived. I didn't like it, I must admit. I just thought it's so hypocritical.
Yeah. But I had when that time when I went when I was 16 and I went to the spiritualist church, I had quite a funny experience really, because the medium did actually come to me and he said that there was a chap next to me and he was my guide, and he told me that he was a relative and he told me his name, and it was only it was when I was doing my family tree about 10 years ago. I actually found him on my family tree.
Yeah.
I actually found the guy on my family tree, and it blew me away, honestly.
Okay. Biff says, tempted by the festival, but would like to learn more first. Festival or afternoon ghost hunt? My suggestion, exactly the same. My suggestion is, Biff, go to the festival on a Saturday and come and do the afternoon ghost hunt up here Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
that
you
would
could
be
do both.
that would be a good way.
Weekend.
Obviously, I've not been to the festival, Dave, but I know what Julie's told me. I know what Jane told me about last September. Julie was so excited by it, and she can't wait to go this weekend. And you know, Julie, if she's meeting people, she's in her element.
Yeah.
I know Julie's going to be so excited to go, and she's so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And of course, the afternoon goes to up the centre. You can't beat that, can you?
Fantastic.
And how much is it to get in the festival? Any ideas? It's probably not cheap, I imagine.
I think it's something like £5.
Is that it?
I think you have to. I'd check on the website. Check on the website. You can buy tickets online on the website. I'd do that. It's Coven of Gaia.
Yeah. I can put a link on my page as well. I'm sure I can find it. Biff says Sunday school was a thing as a kid, but as I got older, the more cynical I became about the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe the church is on the way out. I do believe
I think they're going to stick their heels in, kicking and screaming. They're not
going to give up easy. Because they want a good thing, isn't they? Biff said £15 a day or £30 for the weekend.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. Because I say that's all right because I sort of know what's there and what you can see and what you can do. So, yeah,
I just think, like I said, I've not been, but I know what Julie has said and Jane said. It's a great weekend and go for the weekend.
Yeah, and some of the stuff you can find at the stalls is just absolutely amazing. Some of the crafting and that people do. There's a chap that makes like wooden thrones, like the Viking like wooden thrones.
Really?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, they are something like £600-700 each, but some of the crafts and some of the things that you see are just amazing, honestly.
But then you say it's £600-700, but it's worth it, isn't it? If you've got that sort of money.
Yeah, you don't.
That guy has spent a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, he hand carves them all, and he does benches, he does chairs, he does thrones, he does absolutely everything. And there was another guy that I mean, it's just so difficult to say. There's lots of clothing, there's lots of food, there's so many.
Well, that's it.
Crafts.
Lots of food. That's it. Is there lots of beer?
I'm sure there is somewhere.
I'm sure that with the Vikings there'll be lots of ale.
Oh yes. Take your horn of plenty. Fill it up with the meat.
That's it. You've persuaded Biff now. I'm sure it'd be a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, it is. There's just so many amazing things to see.
Vicky says, seen Viking reenactments at Tutbury. If it's the same guys, which it probably is, people will be in for a real treat.
Yeah, I watched them last year, and it was quite an ogle. I'll admit
So
it.
that's why Julie come back all excited then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's nice to be amongst a big crowd of like-minded people who just want to enjoy life. No conditioning.
Yeah, just
And
enjoy.
You can talk to. I would imagine you can talk to anybody about anything that
Yeah.
we enjoy talking about.
Yeah, when you see people walking by, what was that? Just a door or something?
It's something there.
You see people walking by dressed as fairies and things, and they're having such a whale of a time. It's just fantastic.
Biff said Neil's wallet just dies at the sound of 6 to 7 quid.
6-7 pound.
You take the 2 noughts off it, and my dog wallet still does. I don't actually own a wallet because I never have money to put it in it. Vicky says, what days is it?
It's this Saturday and Sunday. So the stalls are open. Stall holders can get in from Thursday. So I'm going Thursday, so I should be there Thursday, Friday, and then the stalls are open Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. And like I say, if anyone goes who knows anything about the centre, please pop along and say hello to Julie and Jane.
Yeah. Happy to see you.
And spend lots of your hard-earned money. Bloss says he has a purse. Vicky says, that's what I was hoping you were going to say. Working Saturday night, so might just have to pop over Sunday.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, pop over, Vicky. It is a fantastic weekend. But like I say, I keep saying it's just like nice meeting like-minded people.
Yeah, it is.
Where no one's going to judge you. You can dress up as you want, as long as it's not a priest.
Yeah, don't come dressed as a vicar or a nun.
You might be lynched. And just have a real good time. I know Julie's going to be full of it when she gets home.
Yeah, and you see lots of kids running around. There was kids dressed as fairies. There was little boys dressed as Vikings. It was just amazing.
Yeah. So, any more comments about the Witches and Pagan Festival or anything? So let's talk about our seance on Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a pretty good night, wasn't it?
It was good.
What's your verdict on it?
I enjoyed it. It was good to do it. I did enjoy it being downstairs in a different sort of environment. So it was nice to have quite a few people around the table, and the activity that we got was good as well.
Mm. And of course, you said my dad was standing behind me.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, he was. He got his hand on your shoulder, and he was just sort of standing there smiling. I think he was so proud of you.
That's good if he's listening. Biff says probably more welcome as John McVicar than a vicar. Yeah, of course. And we had a creature come in, didn't we, through the mirror?
Yes.
And we think it was he who was moving the table.
Yes, I think it was.
So that was interesting.
So it'd be interesting to do another one and see what,
Yeah, so Bloss has already said it was a good night Friday, and Biff's comment was Friday was bonkers.
Yeah.
And Bloss says it wanted to squash
Biff,
me.
Did your shoulder carry on hurting, or was it healing that you were getting? Because he'd been having a poorly shoulder all week, and as this cold was sort of next to him, and the energies, he felt his shoulder getting better.
All right.
So by the end of it, it was only a bit of a twinge, but it'd be
Well,
interesting to see if he.
And Dave wasn't very well. Biff wasn't very well yesterday. I hope you feel better today, Biff. Ian says, did he have Vicky's K2? Laugh out loud. Yeah, Vicky from Haunted Happenings has lost a K2 here.
Oh.
And the spirits have told her they took it.
Well, we'll have to ask them to bring it back. Can you bring it back, please?
It's only Vicky. Biff says it's definitely better than it was.
That's good.
So yeah, Friday was good. It was nice to start them back up again because I did miss them.
Yeah.
Ian says it's in the mirror.
Ooh.
That's what Vicky says. They took it through the mirror apparently. So that's all interesting. And we have looked in here. This K2.
Oh, we'll have to ask them to bring it back.
That'd be interesting. And
has anybody looked in the fairy porch?
No.
Oh, might be interesting. Might be worth a look.
Wouldn't it be interesting though? The next time Vicky comes, it's just on the table, sitting there saying, "I'm here. I've been here all the time. What are you on about?"
Yeah.
But we do have quite a few things move. Where the little toy soldier moved the other week, didn't we, with the Haunted Live here?
It was went up into the.
It was ended up in the war room, and it's always on the bottom step.
Yeah. So how long have we got? A few minutes. Okay, let's talk about a few things that are coming up then. Dudley Castle. Have you got some tickets?
Yes, Dudley Castle in May the 28th. We still have a few tickets left if you want to join us at Dudley Castle. My favourite haunted location, Dudley Castle, is obviously after the centre. Jane and I have had some fantastic experiences there. I would recommend it. Obviously, you'll be coming with us as well, so it's even better. We have the Parachat in September. So if your team want to promote yourselves, book our table. It's £25 per table, which allows 3 people in. And you can sell merchandise, push yourselves, get yourselves out there.
Yeah, promote
yourselves. Whether you're a venue group, investigation group, podcast, YouTube, a witch, anything to do with the paranormal, it's going to be the biggest paranormal networking event ever.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. We do have an afternoon ghost hunt this Sunday at the centre. We've got a few ticket spaces left if you want to join us Sunday afternoon. Obviously, if you're at the fest, the Witches and Pagan Festival, have a great time. A few more comments. Biff says, can't wait for the next sounds. Damn, think I've just committed myself. And not to an asylum. Vicky says, they've told me they refused Jane. Told me they were holding it as ransom to make sure I return back. That's good. Biff said, Dudley will be fun. And then he says, 2 seats in the car if anyone needs a lift to Dudley.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun at Dudley.
It's been a few years since we've been there, isn't it?
It's been about 6 or 7 years, I bet. When you think the centre's been open for, so it was a long time before that.
Yeah.
We've had some amazing experiences there. And of course, we are going to end both nights at Dudley Castle with a big seance with everyone in the Undercroft, which is the most active room by far. We're going to do a big seance in there. We're going to get all of us in there. I don't know if we're going to be sitting around a table. I'm not sure how many tables we've got.
There was a big table in there last time.
I think there was,
But
but we have had someone scratched in there.
Yeah.
Already.
Been quite a few people affected in there, weren't there? So
we are going to try and make it a really good end to the night. So the sounds at Dudley Castle. It's a cool place anyway.
It's one of our favourites.
We've been a few times because we actually got invited to do Dudley Castle's own event, didn't we, at Halloween? Because they thought we were that good. So we've done it a few times, but it's a place that I would always go back to. Like Jane says, we've not been back for years, so plus Amy, who will be with us, who works for Dudley Castle. She'll be looking after us. And she says it as it is. I love Amy to bits. First time we went, and she said, if the medium talks a load of rubbish, she'll tell them. And she does. So Amy is brilliant. So Amy will be with us, I'm sure. So it'd be nice to see her again. I've not seen her for many, many years.
That'd be good.
And she'll be with us, and hopefully she'll take part in the seance as well.
Yeah, good.
Because if spirits come forward, she can say, "Nah, he weren't there. That's a load of rubbish." Vicky says, Dudley Castle has always been an active location for me. Undercroft can be a super active area.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I love the Undercroft. So I'm really looking forward to that. So any final words before we say good night? Because it's nearly time.
Yeah, it soon goes, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. It makes a difference when there's loads of comments, doesn't it? Otherwise, we just waffle on.
We're good at that.
The good news about the centre is I have today received the CCTV cameras.
Way.
Finally, the company who was going to do it have been messing me about, so I've kicked them into touch. So we bought them ourselves, and the cameras will be installed as soon as Luke and Levi can get time together to come and install them. Each camera does have audio. There's 8 of them, so they're going to be dotted around all upstairs in the haunted rooms.
Yeah.
All with audio. They will be streaming 24/7 on the members page on the website. So if you're a member, you'll be able to see them. Vicky says, it's about time I was back at your place. When is the next one? I can't offhand, I don't know when Haunted Happenings are back. But yours can always come on an afternoon ghost hunt, couldn't you, Vicky? Rick says, live long and prosper. And you, Rick, it was lovely to see you the other Saturday. We must meet up. Mandy says, final words. Bugger, should have turned into Facebook earlier, damn it.
Oh.
You
can watch it.
You can watch his catch up. Mandy says, I booked onto your seance on the 22nd. Yes, you have. And it's going to be another good one, I'm sure.
I don't think we've ever had a bad seance, have we?
No, it's always different. We never know what's going to happen. Paul says, sorry, just got on, missed it. You can watch catch up. Mandy says, 15th, Vicky. So, well, that's when you come in, Vicky, by the looks of it. Biff says, got 4 spare hours in a day. If you need any help to Moz, I'll let you know, Biff. And Vicky says, thanks, Mandy. So, yeah, lots coming up. We've got lots of different things coming up as well. That if you all know me, I've got lots of silly ideas. I have to keep changing because I get bored. Janet says, night guys, good chatting. Yeah, it's always good having a chat, Janet.
Good night.
And when we're in Pendle, pop along and say hello.
Yeah.
So we're going to say good night, everyone.
So thank you for all your comments. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you've had a good chat. And we will see you next week. So
Okay.
bye for now.
Take care. Good night.